Hi, I'm Carol Wilson, Editor-at-Large at Light Reading, and I'm here with Bill Long, the Vice President of Product Management for Equinix. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
So we're here at the NFE SDN event that Light Reading is having in Denver, and maybe you could just start by giving us perspective on how NFV impacts the Equinix business, which is mostly data centers, right?
Yep. So it's interesting because we sort of stumbled into this space where we were starting to see a lot of the applications that were previously in enterprise basements with firewall and DDoS protection and all those other sort of networking apps that historically been, again, not addressable to Equinix because they were in enterprises' basements, were now being delivered by new service providers who are buying colo. And they found us because they wanted to buy colo in a place that had lots of networks, but also critically was easy to connect to the clouds. So it was the transition from sort of hardware-based appliances being offered as a service by these real new entrants into the market that sort of clued us into this, and then it's sort of been evolving, and some of the incumbents that had been hardware providers are now offering their services or offering their products as a service. So there's been that sort of evolution.
Okay. And how do you see the NFV technology that's being deployed evolving also? Again, as you move away from more dedicated things to hopefully more reusable and more software driven.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be sort of the disaggregation of the appliances, where typically it was obviously it was a hardware appliance that sat there, but there'll be the disaggregation of the actual network from the network from the sort of application, whether it's firewall or DDoS. So there's that bifurcation that's certainly happening. But in a lot of ways, we want to not care about the technology. We want to provide the place where the counterparties can both come, where the networks can come, where the enterprises can come to connect to these services. And we want to provide a nice open fabric where they can innovate on top of. But we view our job as getting the right people into our data centers and creating a nice open environment where they can innovate on top of.
Do you have everything you need to be able to define what that open environment looks like, or does the industry need to have much more defined standards?
Yeah, so I think from a technology standpoint, we're trying to keep things simple. So, setting up a layer 2 VLAN and pretty basic layer 3 services. And that works fine, but the problem is standards on the business process side are not there. So NFV is working okay within a domain, but when you try to go between domains, there's not much standardization at the business process side of, does party A have permissions to connect to party B? And how do they negotiate the actual provisioning instructions, even though the underlying technology is simple, the business processes, especially the automation, are not there to be able to support it. So that's a lot of what we've been trying to help facilitate is evolving not just the technology side, but more the business process.
And what can you do in that regard? What can Equinix do?
Yeah, so we, luckily, we sort of got one of the places we started was providing connectivity to clouds. So, Microsoft and AWS, they had APIs that defined, hey, I'm a seller, and if you want to get private network connectivity to me, here's an API where you can do it. We abstracted away sort of what was common across all those different IaaS providers, and now have a general set of, if you're a seller of some kind of network service and you want private connectivity, you can use our platform to be able to connect on the other side.
This is Cloud Exchange?
This is Cloud Exchange. But it's gonna evolve more into even a services exchange. It just happened to be that cloud were the first ones. We've had some. They're network providers that are now using Cloud Exchange to sell long-haul transport, to Ethernet private line, last mile connections. But they're doing it in a way that is real-time provisioned, API-driven type of interconnection.
And they can take advantage of all that automation as well.
They can take advantage of the automation that we built the automation because there's this huge opportunity with cloud. But now that all the hooks are there, the business process is defined, it's being used for a lot more things.
That makes a lot of sense. Bill, thanks for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.